Hi everyone and welcome back to the garage. About a month ago I went out and bought my first gas blowback rifle, a HK416C. Now that it has been a month and I've had a good chance to have a play with it, I thought it was about time I did my level 2 review of it. So here we go, this is my level 2 review of my HK416C.
Now on this technique, I'm able to get it quite consistent and then bring the sight up and knowing roughly where it's going to go. Catch up the side of the energy side, swings pretty good. Just try it. Moving gut,
Now that has been a month, I've had a good chance to play with the 888C, get a good feel for it and really see how much I like it. So far, it's pretty positive. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun as my first gas blowback with a bit more recoil action. It's definitely pretty cool. Gas blowbacks have a cool factor that you just really can't ignore. Beats pants off an AEG for that factor. But there are a few other things you have to consider before you jump into that sort of deep end of the pond. But as far as this one goes, so far it's given me no troubles. Very reliable. I do have one magazine which is hard to insert and withdraw, unlike this one which drops in and out. As I put a note in the level 1 review, I discovered at the end of my filming session that when the bolt is locked back, you cannot put stock in, or alternatively, more likely you've got the stock in and when you're firing the bolt does not lock back. So as you'll notice, bolt is out and stock won't lock in place in that closest setting. Now if I fire the bolt release, bolts will go forward, stock clicks in. Could be just a fault with my one, perhaps there's something I can just adjust a couple of turns on a screw or something, I don't know, I haven't had it apart yet. I've really just been enjoying it as it is. As you'll see, I've gone and put a EOTech style scope on top. It's a red dot. I really enjoy those. I like them. Function well, easy to use, lots of eye relief, good fun. So as I said, I have had this out on the field. I ran it at a couple of local games and really impressed. Lots of fun. Bit limiting having only 30 rounds of ammo in each magazine, and unfortunately because of the stock levels in New Zealand I do only have 2, the one it came with plus 1 more. But all in all that's actually survived me pretty well. I wouldn't want to run into any heavy games where you're going to use a lot of firepower to try and suppress an enemy, or just generally lots of encounters, but definitely for most of the games that I've been playing in this last month, pretty good. Okay, the other thing that I have determined is a bit of a problem is the cold weather performance. It's currently winter here in New Zealand. It's not particularly cold, we only get down to around about 10 or 11 degrees at night when I've been playing. I play at the local indoor arena, so you can play indoors at night. But even at 10 degrees, I've had a bit of a problem with it. A little bit inconsistent on the performance sometimes. You get the odd shot which simply sort of gives a light pop and barely flies 5 meters, but by and large pretty good. The other time I've had some actually quite big problems with cooldown and temperature when you're practicing. If you're shooting a target like the one in the background here, or it's just sighted in, or maybe you're just plinking cans or something like that, you quickly find that that magazine gets quite cold after rapid continual uses and it becomes a bit of a problem. And definitely can't full auto the whole magazine out in the current weather conditions. At least I haven't been able to. Even with short bursts, you get down to near the end of the magazine and then it just gases out basically, and all you end up doing is wasting a whole lot of gas. So that's a bit of a problem, but it is winter, it is cold. I would think that during summer I won't have any of those issues when we're getting air temperatures of 15 to 20 degrees quite happily, even in the evenings when we're playing. What else have I found about it? It has a couple of I think of 3 sling points if you're using a 2-point sling. The main one I use is on the back here, and I have found that that sling point is a little bit small for my particular brand of sling. I have a 1-point sling that I use, and when I clip it on, the clip basically gets jammed in there. What else? I've had a little trouble with one of the magazines doesn't always secure in quite securely, even though it goes click and falls in there. It does fall out once in a while, but pretty rare. And one of my magazines, and I can't tell whether it's the original one or the spare one I bought, which as a note is actually WE magazine as well, has a feeding issue. Again, only notice it when you're out of range practicing and you're taking a lot of shots, possibly related to the magazine getting cold. Somehow maybe that causes it to change, but I do get a feeding issue where the magazine jams and you have to give the BBs a bit of a push in with a screwdriver or a hex key or something like that in order to make the spring pop up and release. Otherwise, everything else about it's pretty positive. Everything needs a bit of a tighten, but as I've said, bolt release, everything works. It's a good weight, and it's been a lot of fun to actually get out there and have a shoot. In practice and function, it's all pretty good. As I said, I've had no problems on skirmishes, been really reliable, and really a really fun weapon. If you're looking for a gas rifle, this seems to be a pretty good buy to start with. Amongst the cheaper end, I suspect, and definitely good enough quality to be worth a second look.